Guys, I'm going to quickly go over a common problem with AC units that'll pop up many times throughout your life. It'll save you hundreds of dollars on a single visit from an HVAC company and possibly thousands of dollars over their lifetime. So stay tuned. So you have a problem where you go up to the thermostat. Obviously you have it set lower than what it is in the building. It's not working. The fan on the inside is running though, so first you need to go check outside, and you notice that the compressor and the fan both are not working. So at this point I'm almost certain it's going to be the capacitor, but I'm going to go through a couple more steps to help verify that. If you have a multimeter, we can definitely confirm that, but essentially we have a power problem for the fan and the compressor. I mean, it would be very unlikely that they would both go out at the same time. So there's an issue with the power getting to the fan and the compressor. So first thing to check would be check your breaker, okay? And then second thing to check would be come over to your disconnect box here, and sometimes there are little fuses in here like this. Okay, if you don't have a multimeter, just go to Lowe's, find one that matches the amps that you have, and just replace them. They're like $5. You can find them. It'll say breaker amps on the nameplate on the back of the AC unit, and that'll be the size that you're going to want. Now you can also check these with a multimeter, placing the prongs on each side of the fuse and placing the setting of your multimeter to this little beep, and it should beep. I'm hard of hearing. I can't hear out one ear and I'm deaf out the other, but it should beep for you. So now after you go through that and you know you got power to the unit, you're going to open up the back here. The other thing that it could be is that it could be that you're not getting a signal from your thermostat. Now, we already knew that our thermostat was on, but there could be something sticking in there. But even with the power off, your thermostat should be sending 24 volts to what's called the contactor here, which is a magnetic switch that will energize the unit. So even with the power off, you should hear a little humming, and you can see the contactor is pulled against the spring to make contact, essentially. That's called why they call it the contactor. If that's good, we're almost certain it's the capacitor. And they either this is what they look like. They come either in round cylinders like this or oval cylinders, and one of the telltale signs immediately, if you see it and it's bulging, then it's definitely bad. At the bottom of this one, there's just a very tiny bulge, and but so you want to go ahead, and at this point you have power off to the unit. You're gonna go ahead and pull the prongs off very carefully over here with rubber handled pliers, and pull each one individually off. Then while it's still on there, you're going to want to short between the different prongs. You have a C for common, Herm for hermetically sealed compressor, which, you know, they just made, I think they called the one Herm instead of C for compressor because they're already using C for common. And then there's one for fan. Okay, you're going to want to take a screwdriver, rubber handled, plastic handled screwdriver or something to that effect, and essentially short from fan to C and Herm to C, because there could be still some energy in here after you get the prongs off, and that will neutralize the capacitor essentially, so you don't get a surprising shock. And then you can go ahead and take it out. I'm going to go ahead and show you right now how to test one of those with the multimeter. You can go ahead and set your multimeter to microfarads, which would be MFD, or it'll have the symbol, the little weird Greek U, which means micro, and then F. So I'm checking the old one. It'll say 35.5. Okay, the 35 is for the compressor, the 5 is for the fan. So when you set, you know, your prongs or your alligator clips, one on Herm and one on C, you should get within plus or minus 6% 35 reading. Okay, and then you'll do the same thing with the fan to C, and you should get close. You know, your capacitor may be different. Mine's 35.5, but it'll be plus or minus 6%, 5. Okay, now this one is not too bad, but it is outside the range of the 6%. The fan one was almost negative 50%, so that's obviously bad. So then you're just going to Google an HVAC parts store. Now you'll have to weed out the contractors that it probably will pull up, but you should have an HVAC parts store in your area, and you'll just go and you'll give them this one, and you'll say, this is what I need. They'll give you one. This one costs $23 for me, but my dad, he just replaced one, had a HVAC service company replace one of these at his house in Arkansas. They charged him $391, folks. Okay, now this is something that you can do. Okay, just don't electrocute yourself. And but so when you get it, you go to put it back in, you're going to look at the back of the panel on the door on the AC unit, and you're going to look at the diagram. Now there will be a legend, but you know, it'll say maybe CAP for the capacitor. Okay, and it'll tell you, it'll show H, F, and C, and the wires that are the lines that are connected to that, the Y, which are the wires, represents the wires, will have a color associated with them. All you do is you put the color wire, you know, or you could mark it as you took them off, but it'll have it there as well. Put the color associated with the right prong on there, put it back on, put the door back on, and you should be back in business. All right, guys, as you can see, got it back up and running. Do not keep this a secret, guys. Share this with your friends. Help them save some money too. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.